leading role of women in current struggles for political, economic, social, and cultural change cannot hide the growing violence suffered by women around the world. The enormous number of women threatened, abused, violated, and even killed by men. Equally troubling is the level of responsibility of religion in all of this. Theologian Jose Maria Castillo asks, if in the Catholic Church the rights of women are regularly denied, with what credibility can the Church demand that public officials respect the rights of women? Castillo also asks, what did Jesus think of all of this? To understand Jesus' relations with women, it's important to understand the cultural environment of first-century Palestine. If a woman appeared in public with her head uncovered, her husband had the right, even the duty, to dismiss her. A contemporary had written, "Public life is meant for men. Women should stay at home and live in anonymity." A young woman's father arranged her marriage and even had the right to sell his daughter into slavery. What did Jesus do in this situation? At the beginning of his public life, his very first act was to call together and organize a mixed group of women and men to accompany him in his visits to towns and villages. Let me repeat that. At the beginning of Jesus' public life, his very first act was to gather and organize a mixed group of women and men to accompany him in his visits to towns and villages. For any who may doubt this, the evangelists give the names of some of these first women disciples. Extraordinary the level of confidence with which Jesus shared with the Samaritan woman, requesting against all established norms of the time water to drink in public. Equally so with his friends Martha and Mary in Bethany. And of course with his great friend Mary of Magdala, and with the women who valiantly accompanied him in his passion and agonizing death. Castillo also reminds us that in the gospel accounts of Jesus' resurrection, women were clearly his specially chosen companions. Mary of Magdala being chosen to be the one to share the extraordinary news to the rest of the disciples. From the moment of Jesus' conception in the womb of his mother Mary, passing through his relations with Martha and Mary in Bethany, to the critical moments of his death and resurrection, the role of women was foremost in the life of Jesus, a role characterized by friendship, confidence, and shared suffering and joy. Clearly, if the church is to give credible witness to the subversive history of Jesus' life, the Christian community must give testimony to the equality of women and men. As long as women do not have the same rights as men, we cannot speak of a Christian community. And our testimony cannot be limited to the symbolic. It must be real and credible. Castillo emphasizes that violence against women is not ended by ordering the male perpetrator to stay 200 yards away from his victim. The only solution to violence against women is to put an end to all inequality in the matter of human rights. We can't end this brief reflection without dealing with the question, where does it say in the gospel, in the life of Jesus, that women cannot hold positions of authority in the church? The response to this question, according to Castillo, is not a matter of faith, but rather a question of culture. Jesus never excluded women from any activity in the community. Let me repeat that also once more. Jesus never excluded women from any activity in the community. Or is it that we, and/or the present institutional church, are not true, much less credible, followers of Jesus?